Hello and welcome back to the Alder campaign. I'm your host, Inovan, and with me is just Soinarrios.
Hey, this is Soinarrios. I'm a little lonely.
Nice. So I am in a new recording space. It's probably going to be kind of echoey for this episode and maybe one or two more until I have a chance to break up the outlines a little bit, just for the viewers at home, listeners, probably listeners. So last time we kind of did season stuff, a lot of seasonal play, downtime activity type things. We did not really go on an adventure. Oh yeah, it's episode 36, session 32. I think is correct now.
It sounds right.
Oh man, good times. Yeah, so we didn't really do an adventure last time. We did a lot of prep work for things, moving steads, getting new land, moving a shrine. I think you had a lot of stuff going on too that's not strictly relevant to you. So that was kind of that. So as we kind of get into things, as we move into fire season, one thing that you will eventually get word back from the priestess at the Lunar Temple. Do you recall her name?
No, I'm sorry. Looking, but I can't.
We needed GMing, everyone. I'm really good at it. But let's name her. If we can't find it quickly, we're just going to rename her, and this will be her name going forward. Or hold on. Didn't you just reach out to... Wasn't this the same priestess that you talked to that brought supplies?
Yeah.
That's why I didn't write it down, because it's written down in a different place. Felina.
Yes.
So late enough in sea season that we're not... It's going to be basically covering into fire season. You'll receive a messenger from her letting you know that she thinks she's located the children you were looking for. You know, if you wanted to... Basically, she extends an invitation to the Seven Mothers Temple and Aldrich her to you. So you could go meet with her and kind of figure out what's going on.
May as well.
That sounded enthusiastic.
Well, I was debating if I was going to say, hey, Baronth, come with me.
Do you want to?
I will. But I may go to the Seven Mothers Temple by myself.
Okay, so you're going to do this part by yourself.
Yeah. Like, he can go with me and make sure I'm safe, or have at least 4 of my 5 barley cotters or carls are good. So.
Okay, so you're taking him with you to Aldrich her.
Yeah, in case we have to leave straight from there.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. So the two of you will travel to Aldrich. This is a very familiar and known route, so we're not going to talk about it too much. You know how it works. Once you get to Aldrich, so it's fire season, right? Which is traditionally kind of it's a time for like raiding, military action, more trade because the roads are dry and no one's busy harvesting. So there's like a lot going on in this season. It's usually pretty busy, but it's not just sow reap, hang out in the winter sort of things. But when you hit town, you notice there are a lot more people here. Like, there are a lot of people here, which is not uncommon in fire season, but it's very busy. Like, it seems like everybody is like, everywhere you go, people are having conversations and things. Like, it looks like there's news in the air, but you're not sure what it is. You and Baronth are both mounted, so you've got a pretty commanding view of things.
We may make our way to the Volding house here in town.
Okay, so your tribal house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, that makes sense.
And then depending on when we get there in a day, I'll head up to the Seven Mothers Temple.
Okay, so when you hit the Turos house, again, there are people from your tribe there, right? Like hanging out in the common room or hanging out outside of it that are all kind of like talking as well. So if you wanted to talk to someone, you could. If you want to have an ear like what's going on in the city, or if you needed to catch up on news, those are all options you could do. I know you're in a hurry.
I think I will. Seems like there's a buzz.
Yeah, there is a buzz. So you're like, I wonder what's happening. So one of your tribal mates, someone from the Blue Hill trader of some sort, she'll tell you, right? She'll kind of give your husband a glance, which turns into a longer glance when she takes in his tattoos. And she's like, let me buy you guys a drink. Well, let me buy your husband a drink.
Fair.
And so she goes in and gets like some wine, right? So nothing quite like room temperature wine from a clay jug. And she brings you some water as well. And she says, the Tamori surrendered a week or two ago. We're only really now hearing about. It takes time for news to travel.
How was that taken?
Can you elaborate?
I know pretty tough or scorched earth approach by the Lunars, so I didn't know if they honored that surrender or not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Lunars accepted their surrender. They've pulled out of, she kind of winces, the former Mabodar lands and have returned to the Tomori hunting grounds to the east, but not in great shape. One of their leaders' wolves was killed. Several of their heroes have been slain. One of their leader's sons is a hostage.
I'll do it. I watch Baronth a little bit to make sure he's okay.
He is sitting very straight and very rigid, and he's drinking his wine very slowly without saying anything. This traitor, Beneva, will continue that and reward. And so the Lunars were quick. She kind of glances up at the. She kind of glances at the. Oh, you're good. She kind of glances at the barracks in Lunar Temple, like the military complex that was kind of attached to the city across the river. The Lunar authorities were pretty quick to recognize Jones's victory. Some say he's going by the title Jones Wolf now for having conquered the Tomori. And as a reward, they've made a grantland of the former Mboder territory. I understand it's to be called Jomsland now.
I assume they'll bring in lunar colonists to settle it. I hope not.
She frowns, like kind of sourly at her wine and says, I imagine they will, though I understand that many of his soldiers that he brought with him from Agar are going to settle there, as well as many people who helped him fight from around here. But I would imagine a fair portion of the occupants are going to be former Mboder, since they've all been enslaved.
Not all.
So, yeah, when you guys have that exchange, you notice, like, Baronth hasn't really moved, but the little tin cup he's holding is slowly deforming in his grip as he's just squeezing it, like, tighter and tighter.
He's definitely not coming with me.
Yes, perhaps our traumatized Orlanthe man is not in a good emotional place for this journey.
I'll ask him to stay here as I head out.
Right, when you get up, yeah, you do that, and he nods at you once, and Beneva, like, as you're leaving, like, Beneva kind of says softly over her shoulder, like, I'll keep an eye on him.
Thank you. And I will head out yet again to the Lunar Temple.
Nice. So you've been to the barracks before, which has a shrine or a minor temple. You're actually going to the actual Seven Mothers Temple.
Ooh.
In Aldichur. More specifically, you're going to a shrine to Tilo Nori. So this would be where they do like their alms to the poor stuff, where they hand out like bread and soup and things. Because that's a lot of what Felina does. She's a Tilo Nori. She favors Tilo Nori out of the group. Okay, so you'll be able to find her on your own fairly easily. She is pretty much as you remember her. She's roughly middle-aged, a very kind woman. Like, she looks really nice. She's very friendly. She has a sort of innocent air to her that you would generally associate with like Chalana Ori priestesses. Like, very kind, very gentle, and very trusting with people. Like, she just kind of has that aura. But once you arrive, she'll come to you and greet you. She's wearing pretty simple clothing, white and red. And she sort of like clasps one of your hands and says, "It's good to see you again." And she kind of takes in your condition and she says, "I hope the pregnancy is going smoothly." Like, you're visibly pregnant now in fire season, so you're only, you're like, you're like halfway along basically. So
Ronaldo has graced me with strength and constitution and blessings, so it is going well.
She nods at that and smiles. She's like, "Good. So about these children you were looking for." Yeah. She kind of waves you to come inside the so there's like a I forget the name, maybe you'll remember it. There's like a covered walkway that encircles the area of the temple. I think it's called like a peristyle, but that might not be right.
What you're talking about?
Oh, it is. It's a row of columns surrounding a space within a building. So, but it's like it would be a perimeter of the building. I can't believe I remembered that. I'm impressed with myself. So anyways, so that's kind of what you're dealing with. And so she kind of motions you into that, so you're kind of under its roof, and kind of off the street, basically. And there are some like tables and chairs here, and places for benches and places for people to sit. So she motions for you to sit, and then she sits with you. She tells you, I've been looking, and there aren't as many, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you look at it, there aren't a lot of children who were swept up wandering alone after the Tomori rose, but there were a few. And she says, "I have a brother and sister that are the right age from there." I know where they are. I've been in contact with other temples and shrines to find them. So I can't guarantee these are. Well, that's not true. Did you give her their names Did we talk about that?
I probably would have.
Okay, cool. She tells you that like they've there's a boy named, I put this on your character sheet by the way, a boy named Jalantor and a girl named Amara. So right names, right age, came from the right place.
Most likely.
So, but they're currently, she says, that they're currently in the care of the Seven Mothers Temple in Johnston.
A little ways away.
It is, but if you look at the map, it's really the closest large city to them. Johnston is just off the map to the south of you. But if you look at where the Maboter are,
Look at south of Dangerford.
yeah, yeah. So they may have started. They may have like made it to Dangerford and then just been taken south or transported south. But they're currently in the care of that temple.
Hopefully, have a fellow Soinarrios yourself, or
She looks away delicately and says, "No, the head of the Seven Mothers Temple there, who has been taking in orphans and refugees, is not a fellow devotee of the most innocent of the mothers. If they're being protected by the temple, I would assume that they have been made temple attendants. So for you, Soinarrios, a temple attendant, again, your social structures are not as like you would imagine something like a Voria initiates, like a young girl who is kind of like given a sacred space, right, and has a role in the temple, but doesn't have like a normal family anymore. Oftentimes, she'll do this with orphans, right? That's what an Earth temple would do with an orphan. Where if nobody had a way to take care of them, you might give them to the temple, and they might be given like a job to be Voria initiate and follow Voria and represent her in rites. Voria is the goddess of childhood in the spring and the dawn. Or you might, children will sometimes be dedicated to like Babista Gore or Marangor, particularly if their mother was like a Marangor, because they can't keep their children. They give them to the temple raises them. And those people would be raised by their temple. So you would think of that would be kind of where your mind goes. Like, this is someone who the Lunars are like, right, we have no place for you, so you can stay with the temple. But in return, you kind of belong to the temple once that happens. Not as property, but like as part of the social unit, if that makes sense. So extricating them might be a little difficult now, but not impossible. Just something to be aware of. Like, they're not like being kept in an orphanage waiting for their dad to come back. Like, they've been given new places in society.
Okay, this will be fun.
Sure, yeah. But she tells you, I will write you a letter of introduction, so that if you go and try to get these these kids back, you'll have an end. They know me, I know them.
I appreciate it, and I know things out there may be tense, but I appreciate the kindness and the compassion.
She looks at you and without any guile at all, like complete innocence, she says, "We are all us. So I'll wish you luck."
I got a feeling that will not be my greeting or farewell down in Jonstown. Especially when she won't tell me what aspect of Seven Mothers. Hooray.
Good times.
So I'll wait for the letter of introduction, thank her, go back to the Topteros house, and let Barrett know that we're heading down to Jonstown soon. So probably the next day.
Okay, he knows what you're doing, right? Like, none of this is secret. I think we covered this before, but it's been a while.
Yep, because I divined it. I let him know. Then I reached out to her.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so he's good. When you get back, he's not drunk, and he's also not like sitting by himself. Like, he was talking to some people. So that conversation pipes down when you show up. So he takes his leave of them and comes over to you.
I tell him I'm not gonna try to hide this crap from him.
Right.
And I'll let him know it may be interesting and not to be stupid. Is my hope. So
right, he gives you a grim smile at that. He says, "I'm rarely stupid."
And basically, the reminder that it's not just 2 kids; he's got 3 kids now, at least
4 now. So that one's his legal rights and responsibilities. That one are limited by time.
Brett.
All right, so yeah, you'll be, unless you have something else you want to do or further news you want to follow up on, or any rumors you want to do, or things you want to buy or sell. You're in Aldicher. It's never a bad time to do those things, but they're up to you. I'm not trying to persuade you to do anything. Asking if you have any of them that you want to do.
Just, I guess if there's anything I need farm-wise they didn't have or was able to locate, I might just kind of put an order in for that. But
okay, yeah, there's always stuff, right? Like, you could always use tools, or mostly tools, really, or things for your cotters. Since you recruited people, I mean, they're a better class of people, but still, there's always things they could use.
Well, that's all I can think of offhand that I
Yeah,
want
that's
to
cool.
do here.
We do not have to detail, like, I want 3 adzes and 2 plows, or whatever, 15 tons of salt, or however much salt they'll let you order for the Oregon Trail. It could be a lot. All right, cool. So you'll be able to travel back pretty easily, back to your home, back to the voting and all that.
Well, I thought,
No, sorry, go ahead. Oh, wait, are you going back home, or are you going straight to Jonstown? I'm sorry, I assumed you were going back home. My apologies. You didn't say that. That's my error.
debating going to Jonstown is because going there trying to hit it while it's hot, and also not showing up necessarily in force.
Okay.
Of hey, we'll give these kids back.
So you don't want to take half a dozen burly adventurers from your clan with you?
Well, I do, but I'm just trying to think what the smart call is, and it's hard to decide what that smart call is.
I understand.
I'm also wondering, so far, so many hexes away.
Okay, so from here, from Alderchur, if you were to depart, you would need to go to Herring Green, then to Dangerford, then to Jonstown. So that's roughly a 4-day trip. If you went back to the voting, that would be like a 2-day trip, and then it would be like you'd probably go down to Alone, then take the trail down, then go to Herring Green, then Dangerford, then Jonstown. So 4 days if you left right like the next day from here, 6 days if you went back to voting, and then directly from there. If you went back to Fieldstone directly, and then directly from there left, it would be 6 days instead.
Maybe maybe good just to get a couple people go with us.
Okay, go. Just roll an insight check for me. Just throw an insight for me.
07.
Okay, is that special?
I should go change tabs. Yeah, because that's less than 10% even.
Okay, so it definitely occurs to you that making haste or not, like, you can stay calm. You might want someone to look after Barinth when you're not around him.
That's fair. Really fair. Let's go home.
Okay, so you guys will return to Fieldstone. So that'll take a couple days. You're very familiar with this travel. You can find someone, not Kathia. Kathia's busy with her own stuff in fire season, which you knew that she's busy with some hero quest, basically. And so she's off kind of getting that stuff going, so you're not able to call on her. But if you wanted another member of your cohort to go with you, you could pick 1 or 2 people. You could pick a lot of people, right? But if you're trying to go fast, like 1 or 2 would be good. If you want more people, that's a larger retinue. It's going to call more attention to you.
Or he's definitely the one to keep somebody calm.
Yes. Yeah, I know. He's like, I like him, but yeah, you guys don't pick him.
He wants to pick Elendor just to do it. I don't know if this is the right
for the
one.
record, they can't go on Kathia's quest, but they're also one of the Thanes at Three Hallstead, and your peace treaty is running out this season.
This year. Actually, Yenor and Mardina are tempting.
Okay. Okay.
If things go sideways, I can blame Yenor.
Yeah, that's planning for failure, which, fair enough.
I don't know if Coram would be willing to come on something like this. Or is he still up in Alderchur studying Shalana Roy?
Coram would... So you are essentially going on, like, hey, I need someone to keep this dude calm and peaceful. That would be the sort of thing Coram might agree to, but Coram is very likely to be a burden on any journey right now.
Now he's still getting his strength back, if he does.
Not a bad thought.
So, how about Yenor and Elendor?
Okay, cool. So, Elendor, solid fighter, not doing anything this season, gonna go with you. Yenor, opposite of a solid fighter, you're also not doing anything this season, gonna go with you. Yenor loves being invited.
Well, it's just that I'm far enough along. If anything happens, we need somebody that can handle themselves. That's
true. That's Elendor.
Yeah.
That's... Yenor is typically... I think I've described Yenor before as if things go well, they go even better. If things go bad, they go even worse sort of guy. Like, he intensifies the results of things, usually. So...
I feel like this could use a little disorder.
Yeah. If you'll get lucky and he'll kidnap the children.
Yenor the Pied Piper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he plays instruments, sings and dances. He's a fine fellow.
He'll die as Cass, and that's our group.
Cool. All right, so he'll go with you. He's excited. You guys never take him anywhere. He's happy to go. And all the way to Jonstown. Ooh. They don't know me there.
Plus, I need to keep Elendor's streak going.
That's true. That's true. We give them a pass for cold stuff that they can't go on. But yeah, they could go on this mission, so they have to. All right, let's see. Cool. So those two will pack up and get ready to go. They are definitely interested in going. Other than that, do you have any other preparations you want to make? Are you going to take anything with you?
So I got my axe and shield and helmet. Gonna ask my mother's blessing, both as priestess and as my mother, on this.
Okay. So you go to visit your mother at the Earth Temple, I take it? Okay. She gives you a sort of an even look with a bit of concern in it. You can tell. She says, it is our duty to try and protect children whenever we can. And there's certainly nothing wrong with trying to reunite a man with his son and daughter. So I hope that things go well for you.
As do I.
She tells you too. She goes, you may not know, but Baranth has been talking to people here and there, not just in the clan, but in other clans of the tribe. And it's a conversation that a lot of us have been having about what to do with what's left of the Maboder.
I know he's interested, but I didn't know if he had any legs or organization to it.
He can't organize, being an outsider, but there are a lot of people sympathetic with him to his plight and to the plight of his people. The tribe is considering opening our doors and our hospitality to any orphans that we can find and to arranging marriages into the clans with as many Maboder as we can to prevent them from being enslaved. But there are plenty of people who don't want to do that also, either because they don't want to anger the Lunars or risk drawing lunar attention to them, or because that would cause complications in their own clans, right? People are going to be taking on a lot of people who don't have any land or money or connections. So right now, that conversation is hanging in the balance. How well you do here, if you can succeed or fail, may affect it.
This time, the clan ring knows ahead of time, so that's a good thing, right?
She smiles a bit wryly at you. She goes, yes, you're not forcing any decisions, but how this goes will inform a lot of people's perspectives.
I assume she knows I'm letting her know what I learned in Aldature about Jom's land, and a little bit they talked about with Maboder slaves helping to that.
She does nod at that, growing more serious again. Yes, there's been rumors for a while that would occur. And it's not surprising, right? A man without a clan and without a tribe is an outlaw. And given that the Maboder were a triady, like all of them, they all marry into a neighboring clan of the Maboder. So they have no out ties. Like none of them can go back to their home clan. They don't have one anymore. So all of them are effectively outlaws.
We'll see what we can do. Apparently, these kids have been recruited to be temple attendants.
She nods at that. She says, it's not surprising. It's what I would do.
We'll see how willing they are to let the kids return to their parent.
Okay, so she gives you her blessings with that. She also recommends you stop by the Earth Temple in Jonstown.
Of course.
Cool. And she gives you a sealed letter to take with you.
Great.
No, you're fine.
We head out.
Cool. All right, away we go. So you are on your way.
Casting
so fire
night.
Season. Good. Casting night on what?
On a torch to try to read the backlit letter.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
No, she would know.
My goodness, she would know. Cool. Okay, so you'll head out. It's early fire season, so it's getting hotter, which you definitely notice. No one's really traveling in armor, right? It's like riding leathers. Sure, like you can have like your helmet propped up if you really want it. Elendor probably will do that. Otherwise, shields and stuff are stowed. Like you can take armor with you if you want, but you're probably not wearing it. Is kind of what I'm saying there. So, okay, so your journey, you'll cut through probably Stag Shield lands, kind of skirt the Mandarin, so you can go to Alone, and that'll take about a day. You'll be leaving early and getting there pretty late as the shadows lengthen. And the sun starts to go down. You'll arrive in Alone. Alone's a pretty small town. It is bigger than Fieldstone, but it is much smaller than Aldature. It is a tribal center for the Bakad, but it's not nearly as big as Aldature is. It has it's built on the top of like a little rise that's flat topped. It has like a wooden palisade. It has wooden buildings with some have stone walls, but they're mostly made of wood. Most of the buildings have a large are built kind of centered around like a large tree trunk that's been spiked at the top. You have heard stories that this is to stop giants from flattening their buildings. You don't know how true that is. So yeah, so you're able to stop there. It's a nice enough place. It's not a very so it's maybe 3 times the size of Fieldstone. It is much smaller than Alder. You can stop there and find a place to stay for the night. It's not difficult to do. The locals are fairly insular.
Okay.
So it's kind of that. But I don't know that you've been to Alone before, have you?
We've heard about it, but I don't think we have been.
Right.
So we heard about it when there was like the boater survivor that went there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Thea's been there a couple of times, passing through on her way to the Indigo Mountains and the shrine that she set up there, but you've never actually been. So that's going to be your first time. To your eyes, it is a small, backwaterish town, big for a clan center, small for a tribal center, but it does have a trade road that leads down to the Pavis Road, and you'll be taking that trail. It's the little red dots that follow that little stream. Like you'll follow that the next day. So you'll have to get up early and leave, and you follow this little it's a trail. It's not like a road. It's just a trail that kind of it goes to the river, and then it follows that little stream southwest until you get down to that bridge where it joins another stream, it looks like, or the road has built a bridge over the stream. So at that point you'll turn west, and you'll go kind of back up northwards a little bit until you get to Herring Green. Herring Green is the Dinacoli tribal seat. It is much bigger than Alone, still much smaller than Alder, but it's a more typical Orlanthi sort of Sardarite town. So it has good walls, earthworks. It has an upper, like a lot of Greek cities, like classical Greek cities. You have a lower city and then an upper city that's up on a rise or a hillock or something that's more protected, and that's where the temples and things are. It's where the Acropolis, essentially the high city, is. So you have that sort of thing. You probably have been to Herring Green before, so it's not completely unfamiliar. But it's, again, you really only have enemies among the Dinacoli. Not all of the Dinacoli clans hate you, but a couple of them do. Like, you have another night there with little interaction with the locals, and you're able to move on. Third day, this is kind of color because these are like, you've been all over the region. Like, you really have traveled. Like, you've gone up to Skyfall Lake. You've gone over to Dwarf Mine. You've been around the school ruins. You've gone all over actual Alder. You've been across the river at St. Crab Hollow. You've been up into the Stinking Forest to hang out with elves. Like, you've been all over this area of the map, but you really have never gone very far south. So a lot of these places are kind of new to you, and I just want to describe them a little bit as we're going. Once you get into the Dinacoli lands, the northern clans are still Tarshites. They left Alder in 1587 after the Battle of Grizzly Peaks, when Tarsh was defeated. Like, the Alder Confederation decided to be independent at that time, but several clans left and joined the Dinacoli tribe.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened there. So at first, around Herring Green, everybody still speaks Tarshite. As you go further south the next day, you start running into more and more people who speak Sardarite. Sardarite is based on Hortling, which is spoken in the south, down near Heartland, right? Against the coast. Your language, Tarshite, is from north. It's from Agar, Brolia, Serd, right? That's where the Tarshite language descends from. Because of your long separation during the Inhuman occupation at Dragon Pass after the Dragon Kill, and because of the influence of Dart Hoppin and Lunar, New Pelorian on Tarshite, and the influence of Ezrolian Earth Tongue on Heartling language, you speak Sardarite at 1/5 the value of your Tarshite. So you speak Sardarite slightly better than trade talk.
Ugh.
Just to be aware. So if you can't find people who speak Tarshite, which gets rarer the further south you go, the harder it's going to be for you to communicate fluently with people. You can still, even with 10-12%, you can still be I want this, don't do that, stop, hi, how are you, where is X, where is Y, how many. Those communications are not difficult, but getting more nuanced or being able to shade meaning or have more complicated discussions are going to be difficult. And by the time you get to Dangerfall that night, that transition is largely completed. You are outside the fringe of Sardarites who speak. You've left the Tarshites who also speak Sardarite fringe, and then you pass through the Sardarites who also speak Tarshite fringe. by the time you make it to Dangerford. You've left Holy Lands that evening, and it's just like very few people here speak any Tarshite at all.
Ugh. What we done?
The linguistic barriers. It would have been easier to go north. Like, you can go a long ways north before you run out of Tarshite, but you can't go very far south.
Mistakes were made.
You can still talk to people. It's just hard to get fancy.
Get slower and louder, and that'll make sense.
Exactly. And mix in some Latin. Just speak foreign at them aggressively. All right. So once you hit Dangerford is so the fort itself is a little island in the creek there, where both sides of it are shallow water that you can ford across. The island is called, I think, Dueling Ground. So it's like a spot where duels and lots of, if you're raiding each other back and forth across the creek, this is where you cross. So there are lots of honor duels. I won't let you pass. I'm going to be the rear guard and protect this cattle raid, sorts of things that have happened on this little island. So it kind of has like a story around it for that sort of thing. And as a result, a lot of people will pick it as a dueling ground. So if you have a problem with someone and you want to go fight them, a lot of times you'll be like, meet me at the dueling ground. Meet me at, Danger Island, whatever. Like, that's where you go. So it kind of perpetuates itself in that way. But it's not actually dangerous. On the northern side of it, there's a round little tower. This is a very the Sardarite dynasty puts these towers up a lot. Like, you've seen them around. The Sardarites are like the royal house of Sardar are famous builders, and so you've seen a lot of these towers around. But there's one just kind of off to the side of the road, which would help secure this. There's another one on the south side of the river, or this is the creek, but it's a river as well. And there's a little town built around that. That's what the town of Dangerford. And as the only ford, it's with the royal road running through it, it is an important trade place as well. So that's kind of what you're approaching there. Like I said, you are now officially having a lot of trouble talking to people. You're using a mix of trade talk and Sardarite to kind of get through it. Everybody knows you're a Tarshite. Like, your accent is visible.
You're welcome. Jonstown.
Yeah, you know how to get there. It's relatively straightforward, right? You follow the royal road south. Just due south until you hit Jonstown. But yeah, so you'll have to spend a night there. It's relatively straightforward. It's not hard to like arrange for rooms and things. Once that's done, the next day you'll travel south. Again, this is a royal road, so from Herring Green down, like the Pavis Road from like Alone, like there's a little trail, and then there's like a little dirt road up to Herring Green. But from Herring Green down, these are Sardarite royal roads, so they are wide enough for 4 wagons. They have crushed gravel, like rock, like pounded down flat. They have drainages. They have way stations and shrines basically every hex, where you can stop if you need to and help offer protection to the road. There were regular patrols; those are less common now.
Fancy.
So as long as you stay on the road, it's impossible to get lost. And that road runs all the way up from Herring Green to Aldershire. After 1587, one of the princes who also built Alone extended the royal road all the way to Aldershire to facilitate trade and diplomacy.
So stay there, and then I guess head out the next day.
Yep. So you travel south on the royal road again, and you see people. There are people moving back and forth up and down this road. There are lunar soldiers sometimes. There are traders. There are various itinerants and people, entertainers, people like you on personal business, people traveling to go to a holy day or something. Like going to like a major temple. But over the course of the day, about lunchtime, about midday, you'll cross the Lorthing River on a stone bridge that has like a gentle like arc that just kind of curves over the river and then back down. It looks like to your eyes, you would say dwarves built that. They probably did. That's been true of all the bridges you've had to cross so far on the Royal Road, both of them. But they look like dwarven built bridges. But by the evening time, you'll get to Jonstown. You're going to have to find a place to stay. This is a big city. I have like a sick map of it, and you can't see it. But I'm going to see about changing that. I'm not sure if they gave me scans of the map when I bought it online or not. Doesn't look like they did. That's unfortunate. Alas, they did not include the map. So anyways, no map in the digital files I can find. So Jonstown is a big city. It is not as big as Aldershire, but it's similar. It covers more ground than Aldershire. Like from the outside, it looks like a larger city, but it is not as densely populated. It is not as big and important of a city as Aldershire. You also know that the city was founded by Prince Sarder himself as part of his quest to unify the country. It is. Oh, you do? Did you buy the starter set?
I think Thea gave it to me for.
Then you can open that map up and look at it. So, because I have the starter set. I also noticed, I'm just going to say it won't get called out for like 3 months because of the time delay, but I was watching a video by Ginny D, who mostly gives D&D advice, and she was talking about all the books she owns for D&D, and it panned over to her like bookshelf area, and she had the RuneQuest starter set on her bookshelf. So I want to encourage that. Make RuneQuest content, Ginny D. Like your D&D stuff is really good. All right. So anyways, so as you can see from the map, right, there is a lower city below a bluff. And up on that bluff is the upper city, which is circular. Down below is a little more regular. There is another. This actually looks a lot like Thunder Bluff and WoW. There are several bluffs that things are kind of built up on, as well as the lower setting portions of the city. So like the Merchant's Quarter is up on a bluff. There's a lower bluff that reaches up, kind of bridges the gap from the lower city to the upper city. There's a big bridge. So luckily you can see a lot of this. Like as you're approaching the city,
I assume a lot of the
gate. Is it?
No.
D is the main gate. Yeah. So E is the north gate. Yeah. So probably yeah. So you'd be approaching to the north gate. So like you can see a lot of this. Like the Merchant's Quarter sits above, like well above the walls. There's another bluff visible south of it. You can see the upper city set up above everything else, with its round walls and square towers. As you approach, there's your usual. This is a big city, so like outside there are some. Honestly, the Butcher Street. What's basically outside the walls here is a lot of tannery work being done. So you have stretched hides. They smell awful as you come into the gate. So you're going to come into the gate. It's evening time. Butcher City, North Market. If you have the starter set, I didn't know you had this. What a wonderful resource. We can use it. So good on Kathia for giving it to you. If you open up the Adventures in Jonstown, I think it's probably called, it would be book 4 of the starter set.
I'm holding the physical book 4.
Right. So if you go to page 7, you still have to open it. The PDF language is borrowed directly from the physical language. If you go to page 7, there's a picture of Butcher Street entering North Market to kind of give you a sense of its scale and size. That's what we're talking about there. So you'll be heading into North Market, and there you'll be able to right when you enter, there's that kind of building at the corner there in the upper left. Okay, that's the Bull and Ram. It's an inn, so you'll be able to book a room there.
Okay, that's
and it's getting dark, so that's where you're going to want to stay. Cool. How handy. How wonderful that you can see the same things I'm seeing.
I even zoomed in.
Just pulled it closer to your face, or the number of times I'm ashamed to admit, but I have pinch zoomed physical items before, and I hate it. Like I'll be like squinting at something and just be like, and it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't work. Physical items, so great, cool. But yeah, okay, cool. So that's where you're gonna stay for the night. So your party, smaller grouping, will set up there. They have an inn, not an inn, but a stable adjacent to them that you can keep your animals in without too much trouble. So cool. So you'll be able to stay there. You can try to make conversation to get details, like to do like rumors and things, but your skill roll for that is going to be capped by your language, because you're trying to like be conversational and pick up on hints and pursue lines of thought and stuff. It's not just really straightforward interaction in order to get rumors, so it'd be unlikely to work, but you could try if you're curious.
Well,
yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I did not succeed, but I did not fumble.
Okay. So it's about like you expected. You make a little conversation, but it quickly turns very like polite and then disengaged with people because they're having a hard time understanding you. You're having a hard time understanding them. Not terribly surprising. So that's kind of how your night goes. You guys get a meal in the common room. You retreat to your rooms. The next day, you'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so you need to go to the Earth Temple and then the Seven Mothers Temple.
Yes.
Are you taking Barinth?
Not initially, no.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, because I don't really want us 4 split up in a strange town that speaks Sardarite compared to Tarshite.
That's fair. Okay, so you guys will stay together then when you go to the Earth Temple. That makes sense. Another note, if you flip to the cover of book 4, That's a pretty good shot of the city from the main gate.
Oh, nice.
Anywho, just trying to utilize those. Now that I know you can see these things, I'm going to point at them more instead of just using them to inform my description of things. Okay, so anyways, you're going to get up next day. You'll have to ask. You don't know the city very well, so you will have to get directions. But luckily, it's not too hard. From the North Market, you'll take the main, really the only major thoroughfare down until you get to the Great Market. You'll pass all the way through it, and then up the processional way up to the upper city. At which point the Earth, you'll keep going until you run into the Earth Temple. It will be hard to miss.
Right past the Renta Shrine.
Yeah, Renta Shrines are great. Gotta love them. Cool. So that's basically what you do. The city is pretty busy. It is, it's fire season. There's a lot of things going on. Because the city has lower population than Aldichur, but also a larger footprint than Aldichur, it doesn't feel packed the way that Aldichur does. You're not constantly jostling with people. There aren't crowds. There are just people scattered around. It's surprisingly open, and it's not as unpleasant as you're used to thinking of cities as being. Tarshite cities tend to be pretty packed. Sardarite cities are usually pretty open as a general rule. So make of that what you will. One thing you do see once you get to the Great Market is there is a huge bridge kind of bridging the Merchant's Quarter and the Processional Way area. You can see this massive stone bridge with these big stone columns supporting it. It's an impressive piece of architecture just kind of hanging there to make going from one spot in the city to another just substantially easier, which is impressive. It speaks to their expertise and wealth. Otherwise, the processional way has a big stone staircase. Basically, it's as wide as the Royal Road is, but it has lots of shallow steps.
Okay.
So you'll spend some time. It's big enough that you could ride a horse up it without too much trouble. You can imagine that getting a wagon up it would be kind of difficult.
Which is probably intentional.
Yeah. Once you clear the first stairway, basically, you continue to follow the road. There are plinths lining these roads on the processional that depict Prince Sarder, members of the royal line, the hero John Hauberk, who was one of the companions of Sarder and the founder of the city. It's tutelary spirit, however you want to say it. It's the city god and other Orlanth, other gods and stuff. So all these plinths kind of depict heroes of the city and people that were important to its history and founding. You will eventually get up to a second horrible set of stairs. There's two of these in order to get up to the upper city. This one's fancier. It has a structure built alongside it, and there's a large gatehouse that you'll actually have to go through once you get into the upper city. You can see it in the front cover as well. That second set of stairs looming over the city above the gates and into another stairwell. You'll have to ascend those as well. It does take some time, and there are people going up and down them, but you're able to do that. Once you cross through them, you do have to talk briefly to a pair of guards to tell them what your business is. They don't give you a chit or anything, or give you they just are what's your business in the upper city? You just tell them you're going to go visit the Earth Temple or the Seven Mothers Temple or both, and then that's good enough for them. They'll take that, and then you're able to move into the upper city. The upper city is obviously the whole city is really pretty nice, all things considered, but the upper city is obviously wealthier. It has more important things in it. It has a lot of the temples. It has a lot of the when the city needs to handle things, there's an assembly ground. There's a Sun Dome temple up here. There's just things like that. So you're able to keep going until you find your cubic temple, your Earth Temple. It's decorated with a big fresco on the front of Arnaldo holding a serpent in one hand, outstretched, and on the other hand is a sheaf of wheat, over her head. It's kind of one of her iconic poses. But that is the Earth Temple. I assume you're going there first, only because it's before the Seven Mothers Temple. It's physically closer to you.
Well, I figure we'll go there anyway to get help, lay the land, whatever. So, side note, when those guards kind of stop me, I'll kind of look at myself when they ask, where you're going. I'm well, the Earth Temple, and gesture towards my pregnant self. Really? So,
yeah. Okay, cool. I like that. Good. All right, so once you get to the Earth Temple, you'll have to dismount. You are the only Ernaldan here, so you're the only one who's really able to go very far inside. Yonor tries. Yonor does not get very far.
Yeah. That's what I signed up for.
He's been good so far.
So yeah, head back. do the proper greetings. So I hope ask to speak to their a priestess and let them know I have a letter for their chief priestess for mine.
Right. One of their more junior priestesses, and this is a large temple complex, so it's much bigger than your clan temple, and it's in the same scale as like the main Arnaldan temple at Aldichur. So there are multiple god talkers here, like wise women, but there are also multiple priestesses here, like full rune levels. One of the more junior priestesses will meet with you, and she speaks Tarshite and Sardarite both. You suspect the people you talk to, like the initiates you talk to, grab someone who could talk to you fluently.
That's fair.
So this will be our junior priestess. Her name is just Ernaldora.
Okay.
There are a lot of. I've been trying to spare us this, and it's like there's not like 6 Hendricks in your village, but like there are a lot of Ernalda derived women's names that are just like Ernaldora, Ernaldiva, Ernaldorala. Like there's a ton of names like that where it's just something of the goddess, basically, is what those names mean.
So yeah, I will greet her, hand her the envelope.
She'll take it from you. She looks at the seal on it and then just kind of tucks it away to deliver to the high priestess. And then she looks at you for a moment, and then she asks, "How far along are you?"
About a season out, I think.
Roughly, yeah, a little over. Yeah, yeah. She kind of nods.
I have to go deal with the Lunar Temple on family-related business, and I'm trying to get an idea of how they handle things and how to, I guess, deal with them.
She nods again very neutrally. She says, let us she calls for an initiate to bring like an herbal tea over, so she gets like a copper or bronze pot of like this. It's like dried flowers that have been crushed and steeped, right? So it's very herbally. It's hot. She'll pour you both a cup, and she says, "Let's talk at length." Then and she'll kind of pull you over to a side alcove for this, so the two of you will seat somewhere where you can actually have a talk. So she asks you pretty bluntly. She goes, "What is your business with the Seven Mothers Temple?"
So my husband, in the year contract, was my boater. If you've heard about what all went on between them and the Telmori, I
So
assume
you
you
can
have.
see her eyes widen a touch and like her eyebrows raise a fraction. You know, like she gets what you're saying.
So I'm the second wife, and he had 2 kids before this one. They have been tracked down to this temple and were allowed or recruited or drafted, however it happened, to be temple attendants. And I'm trying to get them back for him and his sake and theirs.
She takes like a sip of her tea and she says, I see. Are you familiar with the Seven Mothers Temple here?
No, I'm used to the one up in Aldichur, which is a bit probably less direct in its dealings with the local population.
She kind of like makes the tiniest like grimace. She's like, yes, I've heard they let their Sun Temple handle a lot of their business.
Yep, they do.
Smart. So here, our the chief priestess of the Seven Mothers Temple, the High Mother, I guess you would call her, is a woman named Harsta. My understanding is that she worshipped Jackaleel before being appointed to her position. I don't know if you're familiar with the lunar gods and goddesses to any great degree.
Not much, but enough to see some difference between here and Aldichur.
Right, but Jackaleel is their monstrous goddess. She's the goddess of the black moon, the moon when the light is gone. They pursue shamanic, like the summoning and trapping of spirits, darkness things, underworld creatures.
Yeah, a little different than Artilio Nori.
Yeah, she laughs a little humorously and says yes. So she does her work, and I can't say that she's bad at leading her temple, but she is not someone who flinches for anything. And the dark moon is, as all things darkness, it likes to keep what it grabs. But I do wish you luck in this. If you need any help with introductions around town or directions to a place to stay or anything like that, just come back here.
I appreciate it, but I probably need to keep moving so Barenth doesn't get distracted and try to deal with this on his own.
Of course.
Well, I thank her and move along. Ugh.
You all right?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's all good. Cool. All right. So is your next stop the...
Yep.
Yeah, Seven Mothers Temple. All right. So it's really just up the way a little bit. So the Ernalda Temple is built at the base of another rise that the Orland Temple is on top of. But kind of off to the side of the Earth Temple and down the way a little bit, also against the base of this, is the Seven Mothers Temple. You're not sure if it was like a diplomatic move to put the Seven Mothers Temple under the Storm Temple, or if it's just a good place to keep an eye on what's going on. But either way, that's where it is. So it is obviously newer than the rest of the city. The original building was probably built with the rest of the city, but it's been repurposed and substantially renovated and redecorated into a more lunar imperial style.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where you're headed. But once again, you're met by people. There are initiates. There are men and women here at all levels of initiates, priestesses, priests, and so on. So, but most of them are wearing red sashes or red robe or red belt, something red to mark them. People higher up usually have more of it. But you're like, once you cross it, what do you do with Baranth here, for one? Like, what happens with Baranth and Elendor and Yenor?
They'd be able to hang out in the street, that'd be great, but I don't know if they can.
I mean, Lording's on a crime, right?
Yeah. I figured the angry paternal pacing may not be good, but but if they could hang outside, that'd be great.
Okay, they can do that. They will wait.
I'll go in by myself.
Here we go. All right, so you are quickly intercepted by some initiates, a man and a woman. They kind of greet you and ask you, they welcome you into the temple and ask you what your purpose is here.
I'm looking for a couple children.
Yeah, they take that seemingly in stride and go, well, yes, there are children here. Are there any particular children you're looking for? Are you taking them?
No, I would like to reunite them with their father if they are the kids I believe they are.
They both kind of look at you for a second, and then the woman says, Errant, go get one of the priestesses. So the guy kind of turns and leaves. So given a moment, she will make like gently probing, like, who are they, who are these children? What are their names?
Oh, yeah. Jonstown and...
Okay. She doesn't show any outward recognition of them. You can roll insight if you'd like.
That's a success.
Good job. Okay. So, yeah, her reaction, as far as you can tell, her reaction is genuine. She doesn't know these children's names. It doesn't mean anything to her. So that's something, right? Given a few minutes, you will, she kind of politely entertains you. You can ask some questions back if you want to, if there's anything you need to know. There is some language barrier here, right? Like they speak like Soinarrios, New Pelorian. You speak like Tarshite and Trade Talk. They probably know Trade Talk too, but so you're able to have that conversation and stuff, but it's difficult. After a few minutes, another Seven Mothers priestess or God Talker, someone more higher up the chain will come in. This is a younger man wearing like a red tunic. He's relatively well dressed, has some jewelry, some silver and things, semi-precious stones. He'll come up to you, like he walks up to you and he kind of makes he clasps his hands and makes a very a pretty genial expression at you and says, I hear you're looking for some children that we may have recovered.
Yes, and my understanding, they were recovered and should be here, yes.
Okay. He nods at that, and he's speaking Tarshite to you. It's accented, so it's not like his native tongue, but he can speak it fairly well.
Similar to the Altiturian lunar, like when other New Pelorians have spoke Tarshite?
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah. Yeah, it would sound like actually, no, I apologize, take that back. He sounds like a Sardarite who's learned how to speak Tarshite well.
Ooh. Boo.
Screw this guy. He's a collaborator. More of a collaborator. He's actually a traitor.
He's worse than me.
Okay, yeah, he'll... Good.
I give him the names, too, just so...
Okay, remember, too, that you have that letter.
He's probably better... I didn't want to give it to the initiates.
Absolutely.
I will show him the letter. Like, Philomena of the Altar Temple asked me to present this letter as a letter of introduction. And no offense, I wanted to get somebody closer to your goddess rather than fellow initiates to their gods.
Yeah, he nods at that a little distractedly as he starts to read the letter, which is written in New Pelorian. Times for everybody. He's mostly fluent in New Pelorian. It has her seal on it. It has her seal on it too, and some official markings and stuff. So he looks at it, he considers for a moment, and he says, "Let's take this to the High Priestess."
Okay.
So he'll beckon you, and you'll go with him. He kind of leads you kind of out of this like common area to some rooms that are behind. So like you're out of the like main hall basically and into some side rooms. Like there's a hallway back there, and he'll walk you down it. When you get there, there is an older woman who's wearing mostly black with some red, like a red sash, red belt, red decorations, right? And she's seated, and with her are a couple of kids who are wearing like white robes. They each have like a little like single red like sash basically. And they're kind of standing like in front of her and off to either side, right? One of them is like a boy that's about 6, and the other one is a girl that's about 4. So they're pretty little. And she has like one hand, her right hand is on the boy's shoulder, like her left hand is on the girl's shoulder. Right? She doesn't rise to greet you. When you walk in, the junior priest like bows pretty deeply to her and kind of glances at you.
Bow my head in acknowledgement.
Okay, fair. All right, and she says, "This older woman." She looks at you, and she's got like a pretty, like her face is fairly severe, right? Her eyes are pretty sharp. She has a definite overall impression of being pretty keen and pretty tough. I guess I'm struggling for the right words here, but she definitely has that like I've seen things, right, and I've come out through them look to her. But she looks at you for a moment, and she says, "He goes, what's your name? Who am I addressing? Who am I talking to?"
And Soinarrios of the Soinarrios clan.
Tribe.
Or
voting clan.
And then a voting clan of the Soinarrios.
She hears what you say, and as soon as you mention your tribe, she's like this expression on her face. She gets this like little like grimace, and she's like, "Ah, yes, the birthplace of heroes." It's kind of one of your tribe's epithets.
Thank you.
So, I hear you're interested in these 2 children.
I am. They don't know it yet, but their father, Baranth, and I want to have a child. I want to be able to give him a good home, whether it's with our child as well as with his own, to help heal him from what the Tamori took from him.
So as soon as you say Baranth, both the kids, like you can see it, like their posture changes, they straighten up a little bit, like they come like alive a little bit. You can see like a sudden hope shining in their eyes that just wasn't there like a moment ago. They didn't know until this moment. They didn't know that their dad was still alive.
And our style respect, how men can be sometimes. I thought better for you and I to talk first.
She nods and she lifts her hands off of Jontor's shoulder briefly. She makes kind of like one of those like upturned palm like wave gestures, like of course. Well, I will tell you, these children, without clan or tribe, you and I both know that no one has any legal claim to them anymore.
I understand that. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So as soon as you start, she steps on it, like just immediately. Like she waits for you to start and then just bam. Right? Like so as soon as you lean in, she crushes it. Like, and she's like, also, I was waiting for you to start up so I could do that. I apologize.
It's okay.
But it's like, so she goes, it hasn't been, when we found them, they were very ragged. Clothes a muss, cold, starving. It took some resources and time to get them back to this healthy state. And to her credit, the kids do look healthy. They look well fed. Their clothes are clean and nice. Their hair is clean and nice. They look like they've been bathed recently. They look like they're in good shape. They're not being mistreated at all. You can tell that just by looking at them. She goes, all of that takes time and money. And to be frank, I've grown fond of them. They have been good helpers around the temple.
And if they're anything like their father, they are great help and have a great heart, great spirit. And I have come prepared to show my appreciation to the 7 mothers and what they have taught, so that way children such as them can be taken care of, and hopefully that would make up for the coffers of what was expended for their sake, and maybe a bit more.
She like considers that for a moment, and then she says, "Oh, the temple's quite wealthy. I wouldn't be so concerned about money."
What are you concerned about?
She gets this like slightly nasty little smile. She goes, "It's my job here in Johnston to spread the lunar way, or at least to give people a chance to see it. So, in the spirit of generosity, I'd be more than happy to let you have these children back, but I'd also like you to leave with a secret."
Okay, this is my brain racing.
Right?
By secret, does she mean a favor? Or by secret, does she mean like a chaos feature?
No, not that, not that. Not the chaos feature. But yeah, she's kind of studying you and you know, she mentions, she's like, "You reek of power. I can smell the earth on you. And I can see you've been visiting the elves.
I have met with all the elder races.
But yes, something like that we could use. More than we could use silver.
My power, or do you want the elves?
Oh, I choose now.
Oh, God.
Let's say if as you have called upon me here for a favor, which I am willing to grant, I may one day send those to call upon you for a favor as well.
It's making me think I need to start scooping up children.
Just start stealing kids. Like, why make them when you can take them?
What's this going to end poorly?
Probably.
But it's a plot hook.
Is it?
Maybe. God, everybody's going to hate me.
Well, not until they find out, which they won't do until you've done it, because it'll be a secret.
No, she's going to make me swear some stupid oath.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll basically strike me down if I don't do it.
That's more of a Yennefer Eternals thing.
Okay.
She won't make you swear like an oath, capital O, but she might set a spirit or two on the task if she feels like you betrayed her. Also, roll insight for me.
Yeah. Success.
Nice. She is being honest. She is offering you a genuine exchange of favors here. She will give you back something very precious to your husband in return for help at some future time. Just as she did not expect you to call on her, you will not necessarily know when she calls on you. The other thing you get though is that she is genuinely enjoying this. She's got kids. She can use them as hostages to get her way, and she can watch you squirm, and she likes that.
Because she knows I'm going to probably say yes no matter what.
Yep. Just picture Ursula here.
Ew. Like, with a little bit of Isma in there. Well, at least I get to keep my voice. Yes.
Okay, I'm taking that yes as final. She lifts her hands from the kid's shoulders, and she gives them like a little push, and then she claps her hands together like, "I'm so glad we could come to an arrangement." And it is so nice to reunite children with their families.
I let her know that Philomena did not quite prepare me for her.
Yeah, Priestess Felina does not know her well, more by reputation than by actual conversation. Plus, she didn't want to say anything mean about fellow priestesses.
She did not say anything mean about her. Well, I thank her. I will be very glad to no longer owe her, and we will be on our way.
All right. She nods. She doesn't really deign to give you like a farewell, but she does watch you go. Good job.
No, it's not. My notes are evil priestess favor.
I've given you a lot of nice lunars. Hooey. Okay, so once you're out of there, you can scramble away. The kids will have they'll lose the sashes, right, that mark them as temple servants, but they get to keep the tunics, which are just plain tunics. So they have, they get to keep the clothing that they're wearing, basically. But once you get them out back into the street, like Baron sees them, they see Baranth, like they run to each other, like he sweeps them both up, like one in each arm, and like picks them up off the ground. Like you can see, like, I mean, he's got like tears like flowing pretty freely. Like he's not like crying, like sobbing, but he's like got like tears just like streaming down his face. And like he like sweeps them around, and then when he makes eye contact with you, you can see like enormous gratitude there, and he just nods at you.
I nod back. I try not to show I made a deal with the devil.
So we will. It's almost done. Is there anything you want to do in Johnston? Like, I mean, you've kind of had like a big, like, emotional moment here. I don't want to like step on it, but just like if there's anything else you want to do here or say to anybody, let's do that, and then we can kind of figure out how to get you back home.
No, I don't think there's a lot here.
Okay.
I know there's the whole compendium, but I am good.
Yenor hasn't even broken anything yet. We just didn't have time.
Sorry.
He also didn't do anything, so he's basically just been hanging out being useless, which is really his ideal state.
He got a few free meals out of me, so.
Yeah, I mean, he got free food, he got to pick some pockets, so he got to do whatever Yenor does when he disappears for a couple hours.
Or Elendor.
They had a decent time. They just got to ride along and do light bodyguard work. That's not the worst. So yeah, so given a little time to regroup there, you'll have to arrange for a good way to transport the kiddos. And you'll be able to kind of return home, which will take the better part of a week. It'll probably take a week because the kids aren't as durable for these sorts of things, like so they get tired more quickly. So you're not able to push quite as hard. You'll have to stop a couple times at shrines along the Royal Road and stop like at a way station instead of at a city every time. So it'll take you a day or two longer to get back. If there's anything you want to do, Jonstown or any points in between, feel free. I don't want to like super rush you here, but there's not a lot of there's not adventure material there.
No, there's nothing too much.
I know there wasn't a lot of dice rolling.
No, that's fine.
Just insight and ride. You can put a check and ride
Hooray!
for a couple weeks of good travels and stuff. Let's talk passions for a moment.
Yeah.
You've made, because I'm looking at your passions on your sheet.
I always forget to roll them.
It's okay. But I'm not saying use them right now. What I'm saying is you've made some big sacrifices for Baranth. You've also gotten more entangled in his life. If you wanted to he's going to take a love passion for you, whether or not you stay married. You may choose to take a love passion for him. If you both have one, the odds that you stay together are higher.
Let's do it. Take that other guys are considered suitors.
So this one, that's the big one though, is that. If there's anything else, I mean, you can put a check and like speak Sardarite, which right now you don't have a Sardarite skill, it's just derived. So you would want to break
it out.
Yeah, break it out. So it would start at 12% and have a check in it. You could also put a check in trade tongue because you've been speaking, like you've been outside of your linguistic comfort zone for like a week or so, like being forced to use other languages for the most part. So you can put checks in those two languages. I know this one was like mostly travelogue, followed by like a dagger directly at your heart. So
no, it was fun. A little scary. I was about ready to pull the axe on her.
No, I could definitely sense there was a moment where you're like, how much am I going to have to give up for these kids? Because you already know it's going to be like almost whatever I ask, right? Because you're like, I'm here to do this. So it's just a question of how steep the price is.
There was a point that Soinarrios could have said, nah, like, no.
That's funny. So I know we're kind of pushing time here, but we're wanting to get through the season as well. So like eventually you will get back home. Eventually, you'll settle these two kids in. Eventually you will get through the rest of the season. You will find out whether or not Kathia did well or not. You don't know right now. So if you want to do checks and things, you would still get a POW gain type check because of your shrine that you're actively tending. You could pick 4 skills, right? That sort of thing. If you wanted to sacrifice for another rune point, like rescuing children to reunite them with their family is the sort of thing that would let you waive the cost, like the 100 lunar cost of doing so.
I might do that.
And honestly, you did it in a really Ernaldan way where you just made compromise and accepted like you chose to bear up difficulties in order to help others, which is kind of an Ernaldan like theme that recurs a lot in her stories.
Debating between Blessed Champion or Shield. Start developing my.
Let me help you with that decision a little bit. Not because this will I'm not telling you what to do, but keep in mind that when you learn an associated spell, you cast it with one of the associated runes.
Yeah, I know.
So that's the only thing is like if you took like shield, you're going to be using like your storm or your movement rune to cast it, which is probably like a 50% at best.
I'm assuming my storm is 0.
Probably if you don't have any, yeah. Your movement rune's probably a 50 because I don't think you bumped up stasis. The good news is you can always improve that mobility rune. And like using it to cast spells will help you improve it. So
no, that's what I thought no, we may. Yes, there's a part of me that after the dwarves, the Elven Forest was a little scary.
Right. Also, I want and counterpoint, right? If that makes like taking shield sound worse, also remember that Blessed Champion is only as good as the spells you have to hang on it. Because all it does is extend those spells. So
which right now is just Earth Shield, I think. Which is not a bad one to extend, but
right. So let's handle the downtimey stuff. Also, do you want to weigh in on the debate that's happening in your tribe about like how much does your tribe want to put out? Like, because you put out something. You obviously gave something up to get these kids back. Is that something where you're like, I mean, we kind of talked about that before with like how it's going to weigh in. Like you've kind of set an example of like being willing to go to lengths to help what's left of the Moboder. Do you want that to ripple out to the rest of your tribe?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing I want you to do is to roll a d6 for me, add it to your reputation.
5.
Okay, add 5 to your reputation for rescuing Maboder children, basically. So over the course of fire season, one thing that happens that you notice and that you're a part of is that the clan was really talking about what to do. You went out and did something, and now the rest of the tribe is kind of like you've added some clout and momentum to that side of the argument. So over the course of fire season, more and more voices are going to start saying, we really ought to help where we can. We really ought to try to do something. And fewer people are going to argue against that. So you're going to get a broad, like your clan's going to shift pretty strongly. And that's going to help tip the rest of the tribe over so that your tribe is kind of unofficially reaching out and trying to find Maboder refugees, people who haven't been scooped up yet or weren't still on Maboder lands, and like marry them into the clan or adopt them or take them on as like hey, you're a young woman that we can't marry into the earned voting, but you can be a temple, like you can be a Vorian priestess and be like a temple, like dedicated to the temple, like, and that would rescue you from enslavement. So like you see more of that happening over the course of the season. That's a policy that will take several seasons to fully process through until you start running out of people that you can reach, right? But that's something that's going to change there.
Right.
Also, how nice is it to get through a whole recording without any noticeable lag and no drops?
I know. I think we're actually decently synced.
Yeah. And I'm like at 99% upload instead of like 70% upload, like I usually am at this point in the night. So, big city internet.
Yeah.
Big city. Like, no longer on ridiculous rural internet out in the sticks. So,
I'm used to on skill checks and everything. Oh yeah, I'll do that while Thea's talking about something, and I'm like, wait, I have no time to.
right? Like, you can't. You just have to do it.
Well, insight did not go up, but that's not a terrible surprise.
You're pretty good at it now.
Hey, but ride horse goes up.
Nice.
I'm not as good as Kathia, so
You're, though really honestly, she's spent relatively little time fighting on horseback in this campaign.
like maybe the first.
Yeah, that raid. There have been a couple times where she's been able to get mounted and fight a little bit, but not a lot.
Hey, speak starter right went up to 18%.
Nice.
I like to risk it.
I usually don't. With my characters, I know how it goes. But lately, I've been failing all my skill checks, so it's been hard to improve, anyways. Oh well.
Trade talk went up too.
I expected those two to go up because they're so bad.
I gotta try. I mean, it's also shoot. 81 does not do it. Even with the knowledge bonus, this means I always have a 10% chance at a minimum, right?
Yeah, so like it would basically the knowledge bonus being a 10 means that a 90 plus would always work. Even if your skill was above that, that would be your floor.
Intrigue went up 5.
It did? Wow. I guess you had a 50-50 chance there. That's not bad.
I feel like that's an important skill anymore. So
Insight, I've been trying to get you guys to use it a fair amount over the campaign. I like that. I've tried to make sure it's not just a lie detector test where it's like, yes, it will tell you if someone is lying to you potentially, but it will also just give you insight into what they're saying and why they're saying it. So
no, I meant intrigue. Sorry.
Oh, intrigue. Yeah. Okay. Intrigue is also important. Yeah. So
social insight.
Yeah. Big picture insight and rumor gathering.
It's actually hard to pick what I want to try anymore.
I know, right? Well, especially because some of your skills have got quite good. So it's like, do I want to take low odds of success or do I want to try to boost something else up?
I try to up my. I can't train my movement rune.
Oh, yeah, you can't. It's a train thing, not a seasonal check thing. You could go to the Orlan Temple and work on it in like downtime seasons. Otherwise, yeah, the main reason is if you use it to boost stuff or use it to cast spells. There you go. You're a Swiss Army knife of a social skill. Does a little bit of everything.
Wow, bumped it by 6.
Nice. I really like the charm skill. I like that there's like this, like every sort of task for social stuff has a skill associated, and then charm is just kind of like, I can do a little bit of any of them. Like, small effect, certain caveats, but I can fill in almost anywhere. It's a nice, like, general purpose skill.
I rolled an O2 and Earth Thumb.
Oof, that's unfortunate. Oh well.
But, you know what? I may try to train my movement rune and learn some shields and shell out my 125 lunars. I mean, the spell and the.
You don't have to pay for the spell.
Oh, I don't?
No, because you did the whole, I rescued children.
Okay.
That waives the price. That's a notable sort of accomplishment that will waive the price. So the learning techniques when you do rune spells, like rune points, you can always sacrifice to improve your pool, but in order to add a spell, you have to have done something noteworthy in the cult's eyes, done a service for the cult, or donated 100 lunars worth of goods. So you guys have generally managed to fulfill one of the first two criteria, so you've never really needed to pay to learn techniques.
Up to 6 rune points.
Nice.
Yeah, if I can, I'll try to train movement. However that works.
Yeah, I mean, this only took about 2 weeks out of the season. It would fulfill your one training slot. There are 2 ways to do this. So if we go to the core book and we look at between adventures, we go to, training, right? Paying for training, blah, blah, blah. Increasing characteristics. There should be a place here that talks about runes. So for training, you have to go to the temple, instructed by priests and stuff. At the end of the season, you can either add 1d6 minus 1 to, and you can only push it to 75% via training. So you can't train over 75%. Generally speaking, this would be pretty expensive, unfortunately.
Those will be in the 51 to 75.
Yeah, and your actual current skill is 50, right? So it would be down there. But it's a rare, basically runes and rare and magic skills are generally considered rare, right? So the other thing you could do, this costs 100 lunars, right? Which is expensive. It automatically succeeds. And you get 1d6 minus 1 or plus 2. The other thing you could do is try to do it on your own, in which case you would make an experience check against that rune.
Okay.
And see if it works. And then you would take 1d6 minus 2 or just a plus 1. That doesn't cost any money. So those are your options. I don't care which one you do. I just wanted to outline the options. Training is more likely to work, and it's more effective when it does. It also costs money.
Mm-hmm.
You're not particularly poor, but this will make you poor if you do much of it. Because after this one, it's going to start costing 200 lunars a shot.
Yeah, let's spend 100 on this one and see what happens after that.
Okay, cool. Do you want it? So you'll spend some time with the Orland Temple, basically. You learned one of their associated spells from your temple, so you would have learned it through the Arnaldo Temple, but with the help of one of your clan, Orlanth God Talkers, probably. And then he would have, if you had requested it, he would have pushed you to continue. He'll push you to, he'll help you, learn how to cast the spell more effectively by learning, leaning into your motion rune and movement, which is something that Orlanth is good at. You will donate some money to the temple, right? Which is something you can certainly do, and he'll guide you through that. So you will automatically succeed at this. You will get better at it. The only question is, do you want to take the 1d6 minus 1, so 0 to 5, or do you want to take the plus 2?
I feel like if I'm going to pay money for it, I may as well take the guaranteed.
I think that makes sense. I think rolling a 1 and having it give nothing would be frustrating.
Yep.
Right. Make sure you knock your stasis rune down by the same amount.
So make my mother proud.
Very nice. All right. So yeah, you've had an eventful session. You traveled around a lot. You rescued some kids. You made a dark pact with an evil priestess. You learned some motion rune. Got a new spell. Fell in love with your husband.
Finally. Good.
Productive. All right, cool. Is there anything else you want to do with this season?
I think I've done enough.
All right, cool. So I think we'll close it out there then. So we'll leave it at that. Next session we'll pick up with just Kathia and go through her hero quest, and then we'll reunite the two of you this session after that.
Sounds good.